There is a candle in every soul, some brightly burning, some dark and cold. There is a spirit who brings a fire, ignites a candle, and makes his home. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the hopeless, confused and torn, and hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle and go light your world. Take your candle and go light your world. Frustrated brother, see how he's tried to light his own candle some other way. See now your sister, she's been robbed and lied to, still holds a candle.
Have you ever heard of the straight gate and the narrow way? Those who really want the truth are few and far between. Jesus Christ was right about that. Beware of those who are looking at numbers. It could be a wide gate and a broad way. Matthew 7:13 through 20 in the 1599 Geneva Bible. I've been using this Bible translation for a while now because it predates the King James Version, which there's a lot of mistranslation in there, because King James told them how he wanted it done, and he was a king. So there's a lot of scriptures that are twisted around to mean what he wants it to mean. I still like the King James. There's a lot of good things in there, but you can't just sit down and read it and take it verbatim. Enter in at the straight gate, for it is the wide gate and broad way that leads to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because the gate is straight, and the way narrow that leads unto life, and few there be that find it. Beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. You shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Every good tree brings forth good fruit, and a corrupt tree brings forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that brings not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Therefore by their fruits you shall know them. So guard your hearts. Pray and ask God to show you the truth. Don't just take the words that regurgitate out of everyone's mouth, including mine. Don't put your trust in any human being and turn them into a cult leader, so that you will fight for the lie that they're telling you. Look at their fruits, and maybe listen to people that have a different point of view. I'm telling you this because we were in a destructive, Bible-based religious cult for quite a few years. I've been to boot camp. I know it from the inside out. And if you don't stand for the truth, you might as well just give it up, because there's nothing worth anything if it's not true. And it really doesn't matter how much truth someone may speak. If they're going to wrap the truth around a lie, or if they're going to wrap lies around the truth, because that lie will become the rotten apple in the barrel that spoils the truth, spoils all the good apples. We are to guard our hearts and our minds and not to look to any man or woman or group for our truth. Think about it. Don't fight for a lie. And when someone is challenged because they have told lies and they ignore it, they do nothing about it, then that's their fruit. The lie is their fruit. And they will protect it at all costs because it's too much to give up. And because of pride. And you know what they say about pride? It always goes before a fall. I'm not out to get anybody. I never started doing this for that reason. I went into it with an open mind, hoping I would find some like-minded, real truth-speaking people. Instead, we've found, at the very least, people who do no research whatsoever, or they don't know how to research, because you have to go to the source. First, Mike Gill used, whether he knew it or not, he used Timothy Holmseth as a source. And now here's Michelle using Jessie Czebotor, who is best friends with Timothy Holmseth. They're in this together. If she would have done a little research, she would have found that out. The affidavits that she's put up on her website were created by Timothy Holmseth's girlfriend, Randy Erickson. I have a long history with these people. I have videos that tell all about them and their deception and lies and twisted truths. All these groups, all these people, all these grifters, they have some truth, all of them. That's the bait that they put on the hook to catch you. I've been exposing General Michael Flynn for quite a while now. I've been exposing these people with the Rise America and Stand Up America and Reawaken America tours for 2 or 3 years now. So I'm not a novice in this, and I don't know everything. I was hoping I could learn some things from Mike Gill and Michelle Moore, and I did learn some things. It's just another cult, and that's where my expertise lies, because I've been there. I've been on the inside. Guard your hearts and your minds and pray for truth. If you do that sincerely, and I mean with all your heart, just tell the Lord you don't want to be deceived and you don't want to believe a lie. He'll lead you into the truth. God bless you. George Bailey posted this a while back, at March 1, 2024, and I just thought it was interesting. I was a member of a Bible-based destructive religious cult for many years. I've been out for over 30 years now. To me, it was training, and it has helped me actually in what I'm doing now, because I easily recognize a cult and cult behavior. And this is why we keep at this, so more people won't be what this apparently well-meaning soul has become. Nearly every point this person makes has no bearing to the truth. The very elect can be deceived. Here is the example from someone called Jar of Clay, or they call themselves that. Those of us who defend Jessie, talking about Jessie Czebotor, have listened to her talk for as much as 4 years and have made a decision to trust her based on all that information and her obvious love for the Lord. Here is what I would have to say about any inconsistencies you find. So she's admitting there's inconsistencies. Lucian is very dear to her. And by Lucian, she's talking about Lucian Greaves, the head of the Church of the Temple of Satan, who literally put up a statue of Baphomet, a display, in the capital of Des Moines, Iowa, in Christmas of 2023. Lucian is very dear to her for reasons you should know if you have followed her. Doesn't mean she condones his views or behavior. Her desire for those close to her is that they come to Christ. And that means hanging out where they hang out and showing interest in things that interest them. So Jessie's trying to save Lucian. But Jesus said, what fellowship has light with darkness? Be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. There's many scriptures about this. Jesus did sit down with the publicans and sinners so he could teach them the truth, not laugh and go along with them in their sin. It's my desire, too, that Lucian Greaves would come to know the Lord and be set free from the demonic hold that's on him, but you're not going to do it by laughing it up with them and going along with it. That's what Wayne Willett did with Phil McConnell when he called him JFK Jr. live on a live stream with over 70,000 people listening. See where that's led to? Her desire for those close to her is that they come to Christ, and that means hanging out where they hang out. So you're going to go hang out in the temple of Satan? Bless her heart. And showing interest in things that interest them. She speaks in code and uses sarcasm a lot, so you have to take that into account. You shouldn't have to be making excuses for her, hon. You will know them by their fruit. This is her fruit. There are things about her life you will never understand, so you shouldn't pretend to know everything when you don't. I believe in giving her the benefit of the doubt when not everything makes sense, because I trust that she is telling the truth and is on the same side as our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I get that you don't agree, but we are not a cult. Yes, you are. But no one could ever tell you that. We have made a reasoned and informed decision to believe her. If you don't agree, you don't have to make it a goal to destroy her. What if you're wrong? Won't you feel terrible later? I'd feel terrible if I didn't tell you the truth. Give it a rest. No one has corner on the truth. We all believe some things that are true and some that aren't. It comes with the territory of being human. We just do the best we can and let the Lord sort it out in time. Well, that's not what the Lord taught. So this is some posts that someone screenshot between the Satanic Temple with Lucian Greaves and Jessie Czebotor. The Satanic Temple, San Antonio, updates in regards to the religious reproductive rights rally. It was concerning abortion. For more information, visit thesatanictemple.org. Rally rescheduled. Satanic Temple at Lucian Greaves. And this is their logo, I guess. The Satanic Temple Religious Reproductive Rights Rally has been rescheduled to April 24th, 2021 at 2 p.m. For more information, please visit thesatanictemple.org. This was posted March 14, 2020. So, Jessie responded. Jessie Czebotor, March 14th, 2020, replying to the Satanic Temple, San Antonio, at Lucian Greaves and at Satanic Temple. Now, this is supposed to be a Christian chaplain and teacher of the Bible and Christian. And she says, this date is my birthday. Someone told me this birthday would be legendary. I guess it shall be. A little smile and a wink. So, you tell me. There's a lot more to say about this. But this is who Timothy Holmseth teamed up with. I cannot be certain that they are still teamed up. I do know that he still pushes her on his website and links to her from what I can see. And Michelle Moore was so excited about having Jessie Czebotor on her show and putting her affidavits up about what happened to her. But she doesn't know that, well, she should, because I tried to tell her on Twitter in a post. When she posted, I posted back to her that Jessie Czebotor was not who she thought she was. And the affidavits that she was so happy about having, and if anybody had any more, would they please send them to her so she could put them up there, are fake affidavits. They were done by Randy Erickson, who is Timothy Holmseth's girlfriend, whom she left her husband of many years for to run around the country pretending to be the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force. I don't know what they're doing these days. They've got videos out there pretending to be these super sleuths and rescuing children, and they still got a lot of followers. But I can guarantee you the affidavits were never filed in court. They're fake. They're just made-up stories. I'm not saying every bit of it's made up. I really don't know. I've never read one. I just know that's what Timothy does, and that's what Randy Erickson does. Whole lot of nothing. So, this is what you're pushing, Michelle, if you ever do happen to see this. I have this link on my website exposing the cult I was delivered from. I just took a couple of screenshots from this article on Rick Ross' cult education website about reprogramming. I went through this experience myself. In fact, my original personal story is on Rick Ross's website, along with the cult link and everything to the cult that I was in. Rick helped me out at the first when I was creating the website. I went through this experience myself. There's nothing you can say to convince people they're in a cult. Just like Mormons, excuse me, or Jehovah's Witnesses, or Catholicism, or New Age groups, or political cults, and charismatic Christians like the Reawaken America Tour, spearheading the One World Church. Everyone is welcome unless you're a true follower of Jesus Christ. You will have to be sent to another realm because you don't go along with their hive mind. All one consciousness. BS is like Chantel teaches. America's Epidemic of Sudden Personality Change, 2nd edition. And this is from 1995. Chapter 6, Black Lightning. In all the world, there's nothing quite so impenetrable as a human mind snapped shut with bliss. No call to reason, no emotional appeal can get through its armor of self-proclaimed joy. We talked with dozens of individuals in this state of mind, cult members, group therapy graduates, born-again Christians, some transcendental meditators. After a while, it seemed very much like dancing to a broken record. We would ask a question, and the individual would spin round and round in a circle of dogma. If we tried to interpret, he or she would simply pick right up again or go back to the I must have missed something there. They just go back to where they started because that's what they've been indoctrinated with. Soon we began to realize that what we were watching went much deeper. These people were not simply incapable of carrying on a genuine conversation. They were completely mired in their unthinking, unfeeling, uncomprehending states. Whether cloistered in cults or passing blindly through the world, they were impervious to the pain of parents, spouses, friends, and lovers. How do you reach such people? Can they be made to think and feel again? Is there any way to reunite them with their former personalities and the world around them? I know that cult mentality because I was part of it. There were things that I knew were right and wrong because I knew before I went there. But I did it anyway. You know, the women had to wear their hair long and, piled up on top of their head because the scripture was used, a woman's glory is on her head. And I had enough common sense to know that my hair is on my head, whether it's up or down. But I did it out of submission and to be obedient because I thought that was the right thing to do. And I will say this, that I did learn a lot by going through that. I wouldn't take it back because it's helped make me able to discern between good and evil. But it's like this JFK Jr. cult with Wayne Willett. I've talked to hundreds of these people. That's what got me on this case to begin with. There's nothing you could say. You can give absolute proof, but they can't hear you. And it goes on. He goes on to in this article to say that they literally can't hear you. I've heard Kathy O'Brien say the same thing. It's not that they just don't want to hear you, they can't, because their brain has been conditioned to believe that. I got kicked out of, blocked. I can't even think of the girl's name now, the woman. But she had all these codes, and I mean, it was in 2017 when I first ever heard about Q and all this stuff. It sounded really enticing and interesting, and the plan. But there was something in my spirit when they would say, trust the plan. I'm like, no, I'm not trusting any plan except God's plan. So I could say I never got sucked in that far. I always have to go into something believing it's true until I find the lie. And so I read books back in 1991 after I got out of that cult. I read hundreds of books. I mean, I was reading 5 books at a time. I don't mean at the exact same time. I would go from one to the other, but still was able to retain what I read. And I read Constance Cumsey's Hidden Dangers, excuse me, Hidden Dangers of the Rainbow. Tex Mars' Dark Secrets of the New Age. I read about Alice Bailey and her New Age plans, the coming of the age of Aquarius. That's the New World Order, folks. The plan is the plan for the New World Order. It's not a plan to save you unless you go along with their hive mind, their big cult. Alice Bailey literally called her plan the plan. And that's the plan that they're talking about. Don't trust anybody's plan but God's plan, because He never fails. Have a good day.
Face to face with the anger inside me. The face of love is hiding. Can't give it away. I'm too hurt to say. Wish I wish that I could be where you've always wanted. voice reaches me.